The easiest thing to do is not to do it. Just not to do it. And it takes a lot of courage to face it up to our realities. There is something about us that needs to be explored. When the churning within disquietens us, this is the time when we are being processed for something much bigger than what we ever thought we are capable of. So what happens is, when the situation comes up right in front, we get scared and we want to run away. We want to find an easy way out and find escape immediately. But mostly it has to do with not being able to find the flow of whatever we are supposed to engage ourselves into. That is the only thing. So mostly what happens is, once we are confronted with something that we do not know, and the entire talk about following your passion, you just find your passion. Suppose that if I don't have a passion, or suppose if I'm not able to carve out a passion for myself, of course there is a flow if you find your passion to be your career. If your passion, whatever you like to do, could turn out to be your career, that's the best thing you can think of, absolutely. But do all of us fall into that category? It may not necessarily be the option for all. Suppose that we find ourselves disinterested in many things in life, and still we have to make a go of it because of the setup that we are in, because of the family pressure or family structure or the organization that we represent. The social setup is of that kind that we cannot escape. It is very important to realize one fact. The most intelligible thing is to know the acknowledgement, is to acknowledge, not to know the acknowledgement, is to acknowledge how important it is, what it is. If you could just know one thing, whatever it is right in front of you right now as it is not just by some chance. It is not by some coincidence. So, ये कहीं जा नहीं रहा है क्या? कि कहीं कुछ हो रहा है? क्या क्या? The only thing that you must realize at this point in time, that whatever you are being pushed into, and if I say if you are being pushed into, it means that you don't like it, isn't it? If you are being pushed into something, it means that you do not like it. You want to run away from it. But it is not about the preferences here. The preferences are the options. Options not to do it. And there are people in the world who have gone beyond these preferences. Of course, you could follow your passion if you have one. It is absolutely okay. Suppose if you don't, what about that? Do you think you won't have a career? In fact, if you look at your lives around, if you see people, if you happen to be a, let's say, parent, either of a parent, there are so many things that you do for your children, don't you? There are things that you do not like about your children, but you still put up with it because you have no option. because you cannot change them for some reason or the other. Or there are few demands because of which there could be something much more worse, you succumb to it. You have no option. So even you don't like it, even you grit your teeth and do it, you bear all the things that you would never do for anyone, but at times under the circumstances you buckle under the pressure of it and do it. So if your choices in life are not buckling under the pressure of what is expected of you, then the preferences will occupy all the priorities of your life, and these preferences are nothing but the options to escape through and not to face yourself. So these will keep happening. And basically what happens is we fear a lot. The reason why we have options is because of the fear of getting exposed, because no one would like to look bad. Would anyone like to look bad in front of many other people, especially with the ones the person is close to? Not really. So the reason why is it like that? Because there is a fear of you being in the, let's say, limelight, you being in the focus, you being there where you're hogging the main limelight. Because you're so scared of it, how people will feel. If I have this particular job, people would not approve of me. Or if I have that specific percentage of investment from that company, maybe that will not go down very well with my family members. So whatever it is because of the ingrained fear within us that does not want to come out. Or if it could be said like that you have developed kind of likings and preferences, and these preferences of a nature of binding you, of a nature of getting you stuck, putting you down. Because there would always be an option B and C. And because of these options, and these options are the preferences that we have developed through many years unconsciously, just to make ourselves feel good. And this feel good factor is the real cause of where we have been. Because we want to look good to the world. We want to put paper over the cracks. We want to paper over the cracks and appear very nice in front of everyone. We want to create a facade around ourselves to create an image of whom we are not. And that has always been the case. That's why options appear right in front of you. Because you have the problem of getting yourself exposed to the world. And that's why these are the likings down there. And these likings are nothing. These preferences that you have developed, the real cause of obstruction in life, these are nothing but the options to escape through. It provides you a passage for you to exit. And it happens all the time because of the binding with the binding of this liking and dislikings, because of which the failure is loyal to us. And so are we. We are so loyal to failures. So do we want does any one of us, does anyone want to have this loyalty to failures? Because these preferences of yours has not led you anywhere, has not led any one of us anywhere. If I were to ask you, if you could just go into the minds of the people who are of higher achievers, they do not have something called preferences, because they have not allowed themselves to nurture these kind of preferences and liking and disliking. It has got nothing to do with their likings and dislikings. If you could actually tap into the minds of the highest success people in the world in any field, one thing that you'll realize, they have risen themselves above the preferences of life. As simple as that. The likings and dislikings are only subject to the pity minds. Minds which likes engaging itself into mediocrity. That is the reason why we have so many low vibrational frequencies around us. The reason is the likings. So these developments of preferences have got nothing to do with knowing our true potential. So the people who are out there, they may form a character of someone who is not conducive to our growth, which is absolutely nonsense, which is again trying to avoid looking raw or looking the way we are, because we are scared of ourselves. We are scared of getting ourselves exposed, aren't we? This is the truth. So this will all disappear. That's the reason why, if you look at the higher the people go up the ladder, go up the ladder towards success, the less complainant they are. Complainants are here. The less complainant they are. They don't complain about lives, because they don't give that power to anyone. As simple as that. Otherwise, the circumstances and the people will carry that character for your obstacle, which is absolutely has got nothing to do with anything at all, except you getting yourself exposed in front of the people, and you fear that. That is it. So that's the reason why the options are the real killer of your potential. And these options are nothing but the likings and dislikings, because there is a way. That's why we see so many other stories. We hear so many stories where a person out of nowhere, like the person was in absolute poverty, and the person worked really hard because there was no choice, so he had to work hard and make a living, because there was no choice. So the only way you can actually come out of it is, first of all, there is one clue that I can give it to you, and it has got nothing to do with any external knowledge. It has to be internalized. It is an eternal process. A book cannot teach you, any course cannot get you that level of understanding or that awakening in you. Nothing can help. What can actually help you? Because it's important to provide some solution. If you could only know what you have is not by some coincidence. Is to know where you are at this point in time. No matter where you are, there is a reason for you to be there where you are. There is a reason for you to be where you are at this point in time. Even if you don't like it, but if you complain about it, maybe the possibility will be lost. But if you internalize the experiences, and the internalizing those experiences does require one thing, the awakening of you, the awakening of awareness in you. If you are just able to know the things just the way they are, just the way they are, then you are able to sail through it. It means that you will be know of things around you in such a level of awareness, in such an intensity of awareness that will transform your life, that will change the perspective of yours, that the place where you are is an absolute blessing, and you have been chosen one to do that specific job. In sea of so many people, one person has been put in that specific place so that that person could be of a greater significance, because there is a trust that has been put in him or her. There is a trust that has been entrusted upon that specific person. Once this realization happens, then something much more greater could be achieved. Why I'm saying so? Because don't you think the place where you are right now at this point in time, maybe a million and billion of people have been hankering after to get into the position which you are complaining about, which you do not feel good about. Don't you think where you are right now is absolute blessing? That is the thing. And even you may not like it, but you can always grow out of it. And the only we can grow out of it is not by complaining and casting aspersion on people and circumstances, and being negative or derisive about things around you. Because mostly people become very condescending in their nature once they reach to higher level of position. But little do they realize that the place where they are, there is a reason why they are there where they are. And if they could just realize this fact and respond to each event of their life and the people around them, that will further enhance their possibility of further growth, exponential growth. And that's what matters. What is counted is your behavior. What is counted is your orientation to what you are coming in contact with, whether the situation or the people. That will define your success. That will clear the path. That will define actually you, the you who you are. So once you realize this, the place where you are right now is not by any chance. It is not by any chance that you just happen to be where you are. No. Even if you are at a very lower rank, if you do not belong to that higher echelon of society, it doesn't matter. Even if you are there, even if you have been relegated to that position, having fallen down from a position, there's a reason why you are there. And if you do not honor it, if you do not understand it, then things will not change. The only way you can actually bring changes in your life is how you are projecting your narrative, because there is a narrative that goes on in your mind, and this narration is everything. This narrative is everything in your life. How you are narrating to what is happening in your life is actually creating your life, creating your future, creating your destiny. The things that happens could be of the same nature, but the way you are interpreting it is everything. There would be as many description of a situation of the same position as there are number of people who describe about it. As simple as that. And each description of their position is different. Therefore, their life ways, their pathways are different too. They all lead to different direction in their life. That's why you come across a person suddenly after a decade or so, and that person has made significant change in his life just because of a narrative that he has been telling himself or herself for about over a period of time, over 10 years. All these astrological things or the planetary system can only affect you to some extent, but they cannot dictate your life. No graha, no planet can dictate your life. It can influence you a bit, but you don't have to just buckle under the pressure of any planet. So no matter what it is only about one thing, that how you are responding to each moment of your life. And that comes from the narrative that you tell about yourself and the situation and the specific situation that you are in. If this is missed, then you will have plenty of time to waste. If this is missed, then you will have plenty of time to move around, go around, hang around with friends, waste time watching movies, whatever. But if this is realized, then you know how precious and how much of investment, if I could say, how much has been done to you, how much has been done for you, not to you, how much has been done for you, how much has been done for you. This is exactly what you will realize, and you'll have gratitude that I am the chosen one. Once you get in that position, that you need to honor what has been bestowed upon you, things will dramatically change. Then you don't have to worry about your passion, you don't like this or that. No, because something much more significant than that will take over your life, and that will change your life forever. As long as you are in this loop of finding preferences, disliking, liking, adoring it or abhorring it, then things won't work, because this will change due to circumstances and the people. But once you realize that the position is to be honored, the responsibility is to be justified, because there is an immense blessing that has already been bestowed upon it. And I am the chosen one who has received this blessing, and I need to carry out with utmost grace and efficiency. And it's no big deal if I am doing it. It's no big deal if I'm doing it. Because anyway, this is my job. This is my moral responsibility. And that moral responsibility and duty will be spectacular for the world to get inspiration from you. Though you may feel like what I've done anyway, I have to do it. You could be humble enough to realize this, but it will totally startle the entire universe, entire world, and the people around you, because there's a grace in there. There's no friction that I have done it. I'm the doer. You know that you are just a conduit of some higher authority. That there is a blessing in what I'm doing, because the position where I am at this point in time. If you could just realize this, There is no option, there is no preference, there is no liking or disliking. You will feel that there is a flow. And once you find that, there would not be any other options. All the options are of greatness only, which you truly deserve. बहुत देर का हो गया लेकिन बहुत काफी